Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Chuck Nix, the Bearded Wino. Welcome to another Monday Meditations with Wine. Whatever time you're checking in, streaming this, we appreciate your support of expanding wine culture. So today is going to be no different than any other day. We're always focusing on underrepresented groups in our business. We're talking minorities, the queer community, women, those that are doing major things, and those that are just doing excellent things. I want you all to know something about my friend Aamira Garba. She's the CEO and winemaker of Lovelee Wines. She's been written up in Forbes, numerous wine magazines, and she's just doing amazing things. In addition to that, she's a mother, and she's also running another business. I just need you all to know that things that she's doing in this business are extraordinary, and that's why we're talking about her today. But we also just want you to know that the wine world is bigger than just what we see on major labels. Now, if you are coming to Bravo Italian Restaurant and Bar in Jackson, Mississippi, we certainly appreciate your support over this summer. You know, we've had some turmoil here in the city, and we've done everything we can to keep y'all safe and create experiences and support the community. So we thank you for that. Coming up down the line, I want you all to make sure you go to bravobuzz.com and hit the events tab and make sure you register for the Robert Keenan dinner that'll be happening on October 24th. All the information is on the website or on our Facebook page. I'll be co-hosting that dinner with Riley Keenan. Robert Keenan's grandson, who's third generation winemaker, is going to be flying back to Mississippi to talk about some amazing wines that they've been producing lately. Matt Mabry is going to cook an awesome dinner, and we're working hard to get y'all a great meal. So, look, thank you again for your support. We appreciate you being here with us on a daily basis, but we also appreciate you checking in to Monday Meditations with Wine. Now, I'm going to be done talking, not entirely, but we're definitely going to let Aamira have something to say. So thank you very much. Aamira, how you doing today?
I am good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm super happy to have you. Look, so little backstory. I'm just let them know we're not going to dig too deep. So I met you in Atlanta at Con.
Yep.
All right. And we were at Wine and Culture Fest, and I'm tasting these wines in this room with all black winemakers, and I'm tasting these wines. And my man Ray said, "You got to go taste Aamira's wines. You got to go taste Aamira's wines." That's what he kept saying. But I didn't see Aamira's name on the label. I saw Lovelee Wines, so I'm looking for Aamira's wines on
I
the
didn't
label.
know that.
so,
Shout out to Ray. He is the homie.
So right. So I found myself in the corner right there by the stage, and I'm like, "Oh, these wines are really, really good." And then your friend was like, "You need to talk to my girl Aamira," and I was like, "I'm in the right place now."
Oh my God, you never told me that story. I
Yeah,
don't think I knew
yeah.
that story. And if I did, sorry, I was drinking a lot in Atlanta.
No,
Lots of
no,
wine.
no. I hadn't told you that story.
That's cool, but I don't know. Amira's wine sounds good. Maybe next label, Amira's wines.
Hey, I'm with it. I'm 100% with it. How's the day going for you? What's going on?
Good, good. It's the evening time. Worked right before this, dropped one off at gymnastics. Mom will go pick her up depending on what time we finish here. I love my village. Um, the younger one is somewhere supposed to be doing homework. And yeah, they better eat leftovers from yesterday because I'm tired.
Hey, look, you never appreciate leftovers until you're grown, until you don't want to make food. I appreciate leftovers like crazy.
Right, but these kids today is just like, what's for dinner tonight? The same thing I made last night. What do you mean?
You know
You
what?
don't get
Here, you know what? It's different. It's on a sandwich now. It's different. It's different.
right, totally different, totally different. But no, the day was good. It's a Monday. Work marketing executive by day, just promoted to senior manager slash associate director because things will change soon. But so work is busy. And then I always try to make time to do at least one thing a day for my brand, Lovelee Wine. So this counts as one thing today.
Hey,
Lovelee
hey,
Wine. And I'm excited, really excited to talk to you. So thank
hey.
you for having me.
No, thank you for taking the time out because I know you're crazy busy. So, look, I just got to start talking about. Let's jump right into it. You received a lot of media attention over the last 6 years. You've been doing Lovelee Wines, right?
Yes, 6 years. Licensed for about 4 years. It was just passion project before that.
Sure,
I wasn't
sure.
a bootlegger, I promise. But I would say people started knowing my name the last 2 years with the boom of Black Businesses Matter. Then people wanting to not only, but really go out of their way to support Black-owned businesses. So I started popping up on wine lists for Black-owned wine, which really, really made me excited. So, yeah, the last 2 years, I would say, really, I saw the shift.
That is outstanding and amazing. Now, a lot of us as black wine professionals did start to get a little bit more attention since 2020. Like we
Mhm.
all did, like, and it was really kind of cool because we've lived our lives. We don't expect it. we don't. We see crazy things like, well, it'll be the same in 3 to 6 months. But we really did see a little bit of a difference and a shift. And I'm happy to see, brands like yours. I'm happy to see the things that happen with all our friends. Look at Wine and Culture Fest, what we're doing in Atlanta every year.
Every year.
These things are awesome, right? What we're doing. So shout out to the industry and shout out to the allies and shout out to those that just said, enough is enough and let's focus on the real. So hey, anyone who supports this, that is exactly what you're saying. So thank you and thank you so much. Look, so you just talked about your own wine list now. You are a private label, but you're on wine lists.
So,
That's
I guess I want to be on restaurant lists. I want to come
uh-huh.
to Jackson, Mississippi. I want you to be able to order my wine. One day, I'm working on it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, give me a bigger storage room and I'll get some cases in here. But no, I would say like this, for you doing what you're doing, how many people is it really a passion project for? And they're literally selling stuff like out of their garage. Like think about the craft beer boom that happened a few years ago. These
Mhm,
guys are like jugs of stuff and they're selling to their neighbors.
mhm.
Um, did wine become a passion for you in 2016 or was it before that?
Um, it's funny. So I didn't know I was passionate about it, right?
Hmm.
So when I started, I was working the 9 to 5 in marketing, got really bored, hit the age of 30, and was like, who am I? Who have I become? I wasn't living the life that the little girl in me dreamed about. I had everything that society tells you should have, right? At that time,
Hmm.
I was married, got the house, had the kids, got the corporate job, but I wasn't fulfilled still.
Mm.
And I knew what, after everyone who knows my story knows The Alchemist, the book, inspired me
Yeah.
to go on this journey, finally humbling myself and reading some self help books because I just felt so lost. And I used to think I knew everything. I was like, if I keep following this formula, life's going to go the way I want it. And then I started like really branching out, getting mentors, asking questions, and realized, no, I get to create the life I want, right?
Hmm.
And if I'm not having fun in my current life, I get to do something about it. And so I really was inspired to tap into that little girl, um, before she started overthinking, before she started letting anxiety rule her life, before she started worrying about, you know, everyone else in her family and making sure I took care of everybody. Like, what did I want as a little girl? And I always wanted to be a boss, like always. That was the one thing. I'm a little bossy, controlling, but whatever. People love it.
Yeah,
And
you a
so
boss. You a boss. It's been established.
And so I was just like, the book, The Alchemist, really inspired me to stop overthinking and just go with where life is taking me. And life was taking me to all these wine tastings. Like, I would just pop up at wine tasting, and I told you at that time, what? Mother, executive. When did I have time? But I made time.
Mm.
So I was like, okay, don't overthink it. Maybe this is your purpose and passion. Maybe this is your
Mm.
passion. I didn't think purpose yet. I was like, I like learning about this. This makes me happy. Like, I just felt so intrigued by the world. And then take it a step further, I'm on a train one day. I used to commute 2 hours each way to work in the city.
Yeah.
And I was just like, passion. I'm trying to find my purpose. What if I just create my own wine business? I was like, I don't know a winemaker, a wine owner who looks like me, talks like me, just like me. And I was like, oh, is this my opportunity to come in and do something?
Yes, it
And of
is.
course, now I know a ton because we're out there, and I am so inspired by all the people who have, laid the foundation and made a way, who've been in this industry way longer than I have. But I was like, oh, this is the time, right? And that's where the idea of that I could do this. I literally jumped out the window, like was just like, I'm just going to start a wine on a train. Googled how to do it, and been doing it ever since.
That's absolutely fearless. That is absolutely fearless. I mean, look, all those things that you said, those are enough things to make people say, "I'm just going to stay in my box. I'm not going to branch out here."
Mm-hmm.
Right? You look, you could just say family and job,
Mm-hmm.
and that's enough, right? For
Security,
a lot of
right?
people, it's
Especially
enough
your
for a lot of
parent.
people.
Yeah, you're worried about what changes I make now will affect my kids, right? Who am I to think I can just go start a business and do all these things? I got these two little mouths to feed, but I couldn't be a great mom to them without being my whole self. and they are watching me. And when I say these girls, I can see myself in them now. I can see the fearlessness in them. I can see that I can do anything I want. I can see them already thinking about what they want to do when they grow up. Like I see the difference and from how I was raised to what my daughters are experiencing because I include them in what I'm doing. I give them, the opportunity to self advocate and talk to me about things that they want to do in their life. So this was a great I will, no matter what happens with Lovely Wine, I am so proud that I did it. Like, seriously, because just seeing how it has impacted my growth, my confidence, how it changed my life and how I view life and what I get to do in this life, and then seeing how that trickles down to my girls is just like phenomenal.
I'm telling you right now, your girls are paying attention. They see it. I know you know they see it and they're absorbing, and they're gonna surprise you in a couple of years with what they've taken in,
I
and
know.
it's gonna mess you up. Kids have this way of doing that, right? They take on all this stuff, and you think, okay, I know you're being a sponge, and then once they finally let some of that out in the way that they communicate it, it's outrageous, man. I love it.
Exactly. I
They're gonna
agree.
make you proud. They're gonna make you proud as you're making them proud. I
They
know that's
do
the case.
already.
Look, would you say that like that moment when you decided that you're going to make this more than a passion, was that your wine aha moment to say this is it, or was there like a moment where you're like, you know what, I like wine so much, I got to learn more, I got to do more, because you learn a ton. We're not going to talk about your education. Dub said level 3, like you just casually do it.
I don't know how I did it, and I passed when I couldn't barely smell post COVID, and I passed with
Wow.
distinction. So God was like, "No, this is for you." Like I was so nervous, Chuck. I was so
Ooh.
nervous. I could smell for most of 2020, taste or smell, and it was crazy. But my aha moment. I don't. The funny thing is, I don't know if it makes sense. I keep having aha moments, and that's why I think I keep going. Meaning, every time somebody wants to interview me or my name is next to Forbes in any kind of way. Or then someone posts something and it's like, I saw your wine on this list. Or, I get a whole article written about me in my state magazine. Like, I keep having them. So I don't know if there was that one moment, but maybe the moment that's most memorable was probably when I launched the wine in 2016. I
Mhm.
had a party at my house. I had a party event planner come in, decorated, invited my friends and family. And the way they all received it, encouraged, like I really surround myself with good people. I really surround myself with people who keep encouraging me. Like, how some people like talk subliminally in social media and they think they got haters. I really don't know if I have haters. Like I don't experience them. I don't know them. If they are, they're not in my orbit at all. I have so many people rooting for me. That's all I see. And so I think that's why I keep having aha moments because then I'll meet someone new like you who's just like said all these things. I'm like, oh, I did do that. Oh, yeah, that's right. Because I forget because I'm still trying to accomplish so much while being balanced, taking care of myself, taking care of my girls on my own, like really living a life of joy, right? And embodying that so that it's authentic and it's natural to me. And sometimes I do, like, can I keep going? And then it's someone who just reminds me, girl, yes. And that's when
You
I
can
keep
keep
having
going.
those moments.
You can keep
Keep
going.
going.
You
I'm
can
in
keep
a
going.
race with no one. I have visions that I already know they're going to come to fruition. And sometimes when they don't come into fruition in time, it's a little discouraging. But I didn't start this to quit. So we're going to keep going to the wheels fall off. But it's hard. The business part, it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah. We get it, and we don't get it, but we get that you're an amazing person. This is outstanding. I'm absolutely proud of you. Cheers to you. We're going to talk a little bit about your company and being Custom Crush Company. This Monday Meditation with Wine. I'm Chuck Nix, the Bearded Wino. We're here with Aamira Garba of Lovelee Wines. All right, so look, Custom Crush Companies. Let's talk a little bit about them. Custom Crush Companies is a company that makes wine, right?
Mhm.
And then other brands purchase that wine and then sell it themselves. Um, that's a little bit about your brand, right? That's how Lovely One comes about.
But it's a little different. So I don't consider myself like a white labeler, right? Like there's some people who buy finished wine and they just put a label on it. Nothing wrong with that. Those people are probably in it for the business and great. I still do my own blending. So I'll
Okay.
buy finished wine, meaning I'm not sourcing the grapes. The facility I use, they source all the grapes, they ferment, they make wine, and then I come in and say, hey, I want a little bit of this Syrah from this vineyard, mix it with a little bit of Petite Syrah from this vineyard, a little bit of Zen, and now you have a lovely blend. My Pinot was my first try at a single varietal, but I did still blend it because I take pride in, knowing what I know and doing what I do.
Yeah.
And I do consider myself a winemaker. So yes, I work with a facility, but I do custom blending. Yeah,
Well, you are a winemaker. I mean, you're custom blending your wines.
I know, but I think I get a little self conscious because I'm a Jersey girl who lives in Jersey making California wine, and it's really not easy doing it bi-coastally, right?
Yeah.
Um, but it is important for me whenever I produce a wine to go in person, to sit, to blend, to talk to the team, to learn from other winemakers while I'm there. I ask questions. Like I really want people to know that I love learning and I love this. And I probably could do better in the business part, especially since I graduated with a business degree. But I'm learning how to make my passion a business. But when you're really close to something and it's your baby, it's hard because I don't want to take that fun out of it. I really do like the wine process. And one day I do want to work a harvest, maybe once.
You're
That's
gonna get
it.
there. You're gonna
Once because they work crazy hours. I need my sleep. But
get
but
there.
yes, but yes, I do this way, making wine this way allow me to learn a lot. I learn from very knowledgeable people, learn the ins and outs, and allow me to still work and provide for my kids and be a marketer and be a successful marketer. So when I don't want to be a careerpreneur anymore, who knows when that is, then I'll transition and get even more hands on. Maybe I do start to source my own grapes. But starting this way, I would recommend it to anyone wanting to be in wine, learn about wine, and produce their own wine. Like custom crushes are really helpful.
We had talked this because that style, right? This way of making wine, this way of a brand expanding, it really kind of makes way for a wider, more diverse variety of winemakers and people to get out there. And I
Mhm.
mean, we did mention a little bit about your education. Did your certifications help you in your knowledge base on how you wanted to navigate turning this passion into a business and a purpose? Did your certifications help with that? Was that your business degree that helped with that? Was that just, I'm going to do it, this was going to be like, what helped with
I
that?
think first is the passion. I don't know anyone successful in this industry that's not passionate about wine,
Mm.
because the joke is you need 5 million to make a million. Like a lot of us don't make money. We still work
Yeah, yeah,
regular
you're right,
jobs.
you're right.
You have to have. So it was literally being like, no, I really like learning about this stuff. That was first, right? And then I'm gonna try it, make wine. Bought a barrel of wine, 25 cases. Got donations from friends. Okay,
Yeah,
and to
yeah,
try a bottle.
yeah.
And that's how we started, right?
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
And the certification it was really out of like, I want people to take me serious, right? Like when I
Hmm.
started, I didn't have locks 6 years ago, but I'm a black girl with locks. I didn't see anybody. So it's like, and us, we don't want nobody to ever be able to come in and say, she don't know what she's talking about. So that was more of a pride thing, to be
Big
like,
facts.
oh, I want to do this. And a part of my brand is I do wine tastings. I do like to educate. I love hosting wine tastings that are fun, informative, and take some of the intimidation out of wine. People are nervous. They think they're supposed to sound a certain way, speak a certain way, hold the glass a certain way. Yes, I know all of that. I can show you that. But I also want you to have fun with it. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
you're spending your money. You get to enjoy what you're drinking. And I want to help you find what you like. So the certification helps the wine tasting side of the business. So people trust me. So this was strategic, right?
Mm.
Use the custom crush, but do blends so that people trust me that I'm actually the winemaker and I know what I'm doing. Get the certification. So again, build trust so people know what I'm.
Credibility.
Now I'm in the scaling of like, I prove that I know how to make wine. I know wine. I can teach wine, essentially, not service. We talked about that. I don't know nothing about that. I don't know where to hold the towel. I don't do it.
I got you. We'll team up. We'll team up. I got you.
A full bottle sometimes like a 40. I don't know. But I got some size. I know you can hold it. But
Yeah.
but it was really strategic. And now it's like I just in my mind I had to build trust and build a reputation for quality, then I could scale. I think anybody could come in and start white labeling, making really bad wine. I've had a lot of them.
Hmm.
One
Hmm.
of my fears is anyone ever saying they don't like my wine. I have not come across that yet. I'm sure one day because wine is your own taste. But the one of the aha moments was when I got a bronze medal too from Texon.
Ooh.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
they don't see you. The homie Ray, the brother Ray, he was like, send your wines here. And they entered him, he entered them into a blind tasting and I got medals. And I was like, I know what I'm doing, right?
You
And I
do.
get to be confident in that. So now I want to build on that momentum and figuring out how to scale. And I'm struggling a little bit, but I'm not. I think I'm on the right track to figuring out what I want to do next to really go from a D2C small batch boutique winery, who knows what she's doing, who makes bomb ass wines, and
You do.
into retailers, restaurants, hotels. Like that's the goal. That's the goal.
You having your wines at Texom is actually quite major because, and I'll say this, I tasted your wines again, not knowing much about them, right? I heard, but I didn't even know that I was drinking the wines that I was supposed to be drinking, right? Um, here's the thing, and this is some of the geeky part. You know this, right? Sometimes you taste wines from smaller boutique winemakers, right? And there's this you can taste the sulfur that it is. You can taste the grape concentrate. You can taste all of the winemaker's influence in the wine, and you'll read the label and it'll say like Central Coast Pinot Noir, and you're like,
Mhm.
this doesn't taste like Central Coast Pinot Noir, right? It's like all these things happen here to kind of make it. It's like Kool-Aid, tropical fruit. What's tropical about the fruit here? Like, but
I like
But
that.
so, when you taste your wines, right?
Hmm.
I tasted it and I was like, this tastes like quality Pinot Noir. And I'm really, really happy about it. And in our community, thankfully to Tahira and what she's done with Wine and Culture Fest, she brings those quality black winemakers that don't have the big bank behind them to the
Hmm.
forefront of wine professionals who are talking about all the wines that they need to in their major markets or smaller markets in
Yeah,
front of major audiences. That's
that's
what's
big.
important.
Yeah, no big bank, all self funded, all self funded up until now. So that's another reason why I do it at my pace because I'm not going broke for nobody. My baby's going to eat.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's like I am so appreciative of events like the Wine and Culture Fest, which is where I'm going to go every year because I feel celebrated,
Yep.
I feel appreciated, and I feel validated by my people, which is kind of more important to me than anything else.
Yeah.
I appreciate that validation, and don't get me wrong. Like again, I'm not the world's best winemaker. I'm not crushing the grapes myself. I have a team that they have taught me so much. But you're getting me in every bottle. Like you really are getting something that I'm like, no, my people gonna like this. This going to change the game for them. Like they think they don't like wine. My favorite clients are the ones who like, I don't drink red wine. It gives me a headache. I said, baby, no, you just been drinking bad wine.
Right.
And they exist. And don't get me wrong. I love
Yeah.
a $12 bottle of wine. I love a $10. Though they have their places. But I love when people realize they can have access to quality wine. You may not drink it every day, but don't group all wine, you know?
Don't do that. Well, that's where knowledge comes in. That's where people like us. That's where the certifications come in because we have that knowledge base to educate others. That's where
Exactly.
the psalm is there for, right? We have to be able to tell people, yeah, you know what? There is a Michael Broadbent $10 ball and wine, right? But there's also, like a $5. I don't really think you should be drinking this if you're really talking about pairing with some food, right? So let me
Exactly.
help you out.
Exactly. Exactly. You mix that in the sangria and call it a day. I got a
Um,
great sangria recipe on my website too.
Oh, really? Yeah, you do. You do. Um, I was playing around the website. I was like, this is a
Oh,
lot more involved. Yeah, your website's a lot more involved and easy to use, and it's
look,
really
I worked
accessible
hard
than a
on
lot of
that.
them.
I worked
Yeah.
hard on it. Needs to
Success.
be updated, but at least it's gonna be pretty and it works and you can contact me. Everyone knows I'm super responsive. It's probably kind of bad. I'm always on my phone. I respond to emails, DMs, texts. Like I want people to get in touch with me. I want to give people wine experiences with Lovelee. Period.
Yeah. Well, again, you're killing it out here.
Thank
Also, talking about you killing it and everything that you're doing. Like, so you're a mother. You got two daughters.
you. Mhm.
Um, but you're also a black woman winemaker, right? In Jersey. I don't know if there's anyone in Jersey doing this. I think you're the only, at least on the
Yeah,
quality scale, probably.
I didn't say that. You said it.
Saying,
I
saying.
didn't
But
say that.
what do I know? I'm in Mississippi, so yeah.
Yeah, there's
All right.
some people. There's some people here, especially in South Jersey.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm actually drinking a Jersey wine today.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Tell me about it. What are you drinking?
I don't drink. I don't get high on my own supply. Like people always expect me to be drinking Lovely. If I do that, how do I make money? Okay, I
Uh,
know.
okay.
And again, this is where I try to stay in the industry and learning. So I have a bunch of wine downstairs, and every once in a while, when I'm okay with drinking by myself, I'll taste just so I can keep my palate strong and my, evaluation. Because I'm still a student of the game. I
Hmm.
found this at a wine festival I went to for my best friend's birthday recently. It's from Salem Oak Vineyards in Jersey. Is the Cabernet called Jake. They're all named after the person's kids or grandkids. It's from Hedricktown, New Jersey. Now, New Jersey makes wine. We have like three AVAs or something like that.
No cap.
Um, and trying to, establish itself. I've had great Albarino from here and Cabernet Franc are two good grapes that I think New Jersey can do. But yeah, I just had to plug New Jersey real quick. I'm sorry. Go finish
Yeah.
your
No,
question.
that's good. No, plug up. Yeah. Get to it. Do it. Do it. You know what? I think that there's a really cool opportunity. I know you're crazy busy, but I do Texon twice a year. I do the retreat and I do the conference. You should absolutely be back. You should go hit one of those up. I don't know if you've ever been to Texon.
I'm not. My wines have been, but I
You
have
honestly
not.
do. You got to come and Texon. It's a crazy world down there, and you're in the community, and they love to see you. But then that's your chance to plug Jersey wines. I mean, I'm there, and I'm plugging Mississippi wine community. We're not
Mhm.
making wine here, right? We're making mustard on wine, but we're not talking about that.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
but I mean, but Mississippi wine community and culture is on display at
Mhm.
Texom every opportunity we get to. So you
Yeah.
should really come down and yes, definitely plug Jersey wine every chance you get.
No problem.
But I was asking you, right? You are your mom, so I know you've got to be making an impression on those girls. You are a black woman winemaker, so you got to be really, really inspirational and influential to a lot of people out here who know your story, know of you, know your wines even. Nina Simone said this once. She said that, or she expressed that if you are a person of influence, then you have a certain responsibility to speak up on things and to say things and be responsible with that influence. Was that your intention, or did you ever have that thought in your head is what you do? And what does it feel like with that responsibility, acknowledging?
Um, I don't think it was my intention, but it's definitely my purpose. I have come
Mhm.
to realize that. So my intention, again, I was seeking fulfillment. I was seeking to live my best life so that I can teach my kids because I felt settled. And at my core, that's just not who I am. I love to go after challenges and exceed my own expectations, right? And push myself. But I wasn't living that life. So my intention when I first started this was to do something for me for a change, not the mom, not the
Mm.
executive, not the wife, not any of those other hats that I had, but like, what's for me? And in doing this, the way that women, men, black people like really embrace and tell me how much my story impacts them. Like to this day, sometimes people have to remind me, like, no, you have a story. Cause I'm like, I'm just living life. But when I get people who are like, can you help me start? Or I heard about this, or that book inspired me too. Or I read that book because you said it inspired you. Like, I definitely see that I have a responsibility. Of course, my responsibility is always to heaven and lyric first. Like, I don't ever want to be out here embarrassing them, and making sure I'm doing my best for them. But it is not lost on me that I have had some influence. And if I can continue to do that, um, that would make me feel super, super honored and blessed. Like, I hope that when people say they have experienced me or that they reached out to me, that it's always positive, that they know I'm always here to support and help, and that they consider me someone they can access to
Yeah.
share
Yeah.
information. Because so many have shared with me, I share information. I do not try to hoard this. Like, I'm trying to get us all to do what we need to do. So,
Well, it's great that you're embracing that. I love to hear when people say that they embrace it. I know a lot of times in our community, whenever we as Black people get to a place, any milestone, I'm not going to say a place of success, because every time I believe if you're chasing a purpose, success is always still a step or two away, right? Once you get to one milestone, you got more success to get. But I think that when we hit these milestones, a lot of times we find ourselves in a spot and we say, okay, you know what? I got to hold my spot. And so that over there doesn't concern me if they see any sort of, injustices, crimes, problems, situations, or they say things like, or do things like that say, whatever else around me, I'm not here to be a role model. I'm not here to be influential. I'm not here to represent for Black people. Well, I mean, I get that that's not your intention, but you are.
but you
you
are.
know and then when you negate it sometimes, I mean, do you feel this way? Do you feel like sometimes you negate that responsibility, that like you're doing a disservice to a community?
No, because I really am just living my most authentic life. Like, I think you put pressure on yourself when you think about it that way,
Okay.
because that I won't thrive in that. Like, I gotta do this for my
Mm,
people.
mm,
But I love being Black. I
yeah.
love being a woman. I love having locks now. I love this culture. So you're just gonna always get that out of me. And so any foolishness that negates any of those things that I love won't be tolerated in my space.
Mm,
And I'm going to make sure, like, for instance, I'm going to the Wine and Culture Fest every year that Tahira does it. She already knows this because it's important. I don't care if it has one wine there. I don't care if everyone and Beyonce's there. I'm going as soon as Beyonce comes. Beyonce gonna be there one year too, drinking wine with me. But it's just so important, and it feels like home, and it brings me joy. Like, those are spaces that truly bring me joy. I don't know how to be any other race or gender.
mm-hmm,
That
mm-hmm.
this is who I am, and so I'm always gonna advocate for spaces that celebrate that. If that makes sense. Um, so I don't feel the pressure to represent. It is a part of who I am.
Yeah.
I'm going to support Black businesses. I don't have to prove that to anyone. I do it. I'm going to support women-ran businesses. I don't have to prove that to anyone. I do. I'm going to support the LGBTQ, any type of marginalized community. I
Yeah.
don't have to prove that because I know I do it. I live it. Like, you can see it in my wardrobe, my jewelry. Like, it's always Black owned because that's just where I have pride. And so I'm always going to represent, I'm always going to share. And believe it or not, I've had some great mentors in this industry who are like, no, let me tell you and share with you. I think that's another reason why I'm still here. I haven't felt ostracized. I haven't felt like people view me as competition. I don't view anyone as competition. There is enough space for us. Like, there really is.
Yeah.
I know people say that, there really is. I've seen it. And I just haven't felt any type of blockage or hate. And I love that. So I'm always going to root for this space. And I'm always going to represent it to the best of my ability. And if I'm not, y'all get to call me on it. Y'all get to pull my card. Y'all get to check me, period. Check me.
Yeah, you just said something real major. I got to ask you a couple more questions. I ask everybody in a second, but you said something real big. You said there's enough space for everybody. People don't feel like that, and they don't feel like that honestly. We hear it, but we don't feel like that honestly. And what I mean to say is, let's just say there's an opportunity, right? There's a door that I can go open or that I could potentially get through. That door, what you're saying is there's enough space where that door is big enough for all of us to get through. But
Mm-hmm.
not looking at big picture, sometimes we as a people, not anybody individually specifically, we see that door and there's only space for me to get in that door. So I got to get in that door first. I got to get in that door. I can't tell anybody I see that door.
Mm-hmm.
There's that opportunity for me. But if you really kind of understand that idea that there is enough space, yeah, we conceptually, we know there's enough space. There's
Mm-hmm.
enough land, there's enough money, there's enough
There's a lot.
opportunity. It's
Mm-hmm.
everywhere. It's rampant. It's gonna always be there. Even if it ain't now,
Mm-hmm.
it'll be later. It's
Yeah.
there. That's really cool that you pulled it out, and understanding that concept is really big. Look,
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you these hot five questions. This is Monday
Okay, let's
Meditations
do
with
it.
Juan. We're gonna do it. My name is Chuck Nix, the bearded wino, Aamira Garba with Lovelee Wines. Hang on. All right. So look, I gotta know. I gotta know who it's gonna be. I've heard some really good answers. And I'm gonna tell you, the homie Ray's answer in a second because he had a dope answer to this. But you gotta answer yourself first.
No. Okay.
Right. If you could share a bottle with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
I got it. It's two people though. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Me, Beyonce, and Jesus. Period.
Okay.
We drinking
Okay.
wine. Just drink wine. Don't debate me on it. Don't care. We are drinking my wine, and Beyonce is putting me on like how she's a bomb executive because she run her own brand, wife. I'm gonna get married again one day. Hey, and mother, and billionaire. Like she's
Yeah.
amazing. And then Jesus, I just have so many questions. The Christian in
Yeah.
me just has so many questions. I need answers. I want to sit. Had him turn the water into wine real quick, and then we gonna talk. Like that's it. I'm done after that. Like I've lived life. If that would happen, I'm checking
Yeah.
out. Bye everybody. I got all the answers now.
Okay, all right, all right. So check it out. Jesus is my answer too. Like if you ask me, Jesus is mine. Yeah, Jesus is mine because just like you said, there's so many questions, and I
Questions.
want to and I want to be like, I want to drink the water to wine. I'll be like, Jesus, I got this bottle, but I know that you got something better. So
And it probably is like the best wine you
I want to drink what you got.
tasted. And I'm such an inquisitive person. Like a conversation with me is really you answering questions. Like I can't help it. It is who I am. I love questions, and I have like so many for him. And Beyonce, just because like she's the queen of my universe. So
Thousand, thousand. Yeah, I'll drink with Beyonce. I used to always say Jay-Z, so it makes sense.
see,
So look, this is what Ray said. Ray said that he would drink with himself in the future. I said, damn, it's the best answer ever.
really good though. He would drink with him with himself, but it'll be his future self, not his past.
Yes,
Now
his
I'm like,
future self. He said
probably would.
20 years. He was
I
like,
would. Can I give you a B answer?
come
It would
on.
be with my past self. I
Okay.
would have put her on some game. I would have told her to go after it earlier. I would have told her to make mistakes. I would have told her to allow herself to fail at something. I would have told her not to live life so safely, to jump outside of all the boxes and color outside of all the lines. Like, I would have told my 20-year-old self to do things a little differently. So I peep him. I got it. The future self is dope. But I probably would go back and be like, girl, if you do it this way though. But then again, everything happens how it's supposed to happen. And I
It
am who I
does.
am because of that. But that would be really cool to be like, actually, girl, do this instead and let's see how life turned out.
Yeah, changing the past or the future would be dope. All right. So
Right?
look, what grape variety or style of wine best describes you?
Ooh, I'm a Pinot snob. So I'm gonna go with Pinot at first. Because Pinots are like, you smell them first. Like they're so aromatic if they're done right, right?
Yeah.
And they're also hard to make. Like if you
Yes.
don't treat them with a certain level of respect and attention, you're not going to get what you want to get. That's how I am in life. You
Okay.
treat me right, you want to get everything back in return. Like I am really the queen of matching energy. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. But I
All
always
right.
go high. I won't match negative energy. I will never do that. But if you put in to Pinot what you want to get out, in my opinion, and you take care of it and you make sure it's the right environment, the right situation. And I just love Pinot, so I want to be a Pinot.
Good.
But my second favorite varietal, which probably describes me too, is Syrah. It's just so bold and bad, and
Yeah.
like you the right Syrah from the right place is just like it makes me do a little shimmy when I take that first sip. You don't need a lot. You don't need a lot. It's just enough.
Complex too.
I'm like, you don't even need a lot. Piece of me gives you all the energy in life you need, honey. Okay.
Look, Syrah is dope because one, different expressions, right?
Mhm.
We talking Aussie Shiraz, we talking We talking Northern
Mine
Rhone,
from
Syrah.
Rome. I
Yeah,
like mine from Rome. I like
yeah.
mine from Rome. And they blend well with a lot of other, like, I'm a girl's girl. I love my circle. I love my network. I love connecting other people. Like, I'm probably getting a little corny now, but I was thinking
No,
about that. Like, Syrah really does blend well. And I get along with most people. I really enjoy being an extrovert. I get a rush off meeting new people. I get a rush off having new conversations. I love being in community. So some people are like, I'm an introvert. That's the opposite of me. I don't like being by myself.
yo, yo, all that you just said, you really need to be a tech on this next year.
I'm going. You said it. Now I'm going. I didn't
You
know I
got
like
to
had
know.
to be there. I thought it
You
was.
got to know.
I don't know. Do I need? Is it a fun environment? If it's not bringing vibes like Wine and Culture Fest, like, do we got our own little section where we know how to act up?
Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
As long as we got the section with the act up session, that's
Come
what
on.
I like to hang. That's where I like to be.
Yeah,
Don't
I'm
get
gonna
put in the stuffy section.
nah. Nah.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm
I'm gonna
coming.
put
I'm
I'm gonna
coming next year.
yo, when I get ready to sign up, I'm sending you the link, so I'm making sure you come. You're
I'm
gonna be there.
coming. I'm coming to hang with y'all. We gonna do
All
it.
right, so tell me, Bill, give me a memorable wine situation. What's the most memorable bottle you drink, or most memorable experience around a bottle that you've had?
Of course, I'm gonna pub mine. So, um, my first blend called the Legend Blend, named after the book The Alchemist, where the boy is following his legend. He's following the signs, and I really made a wine. Like, I really woke up, went on the train, and said, I'm making a wine. And I really did it. Like, that first sip, that first sale, that first view of the label, that first shipment was just like, oh, I really did that. Like, I've had to remind myself because life has been lifing and we continue to grow and evolve. But it's like, I have to remember to congratulate myself. Otherwise, I will always be chasing and never being appreciative and grateful. Like, I've made 5 wines today. But that first one, still my favorite. I have a bottle of it. There's only one left on this earth, unless somebody else is storing it, because I know people be saving my bottles because they're going to be
Good,
worth millions one day. Okay.
good, good, good. Yes, indeed.
And
Yes,
I,
indeed.
I'm like, day I'm going to open it. I don't know what that occasion is. I don't know, but I'm probably going to cry. I'm probably going to cry. It's my 20. I have a bottle of my 2016 Legend blend. So one day.
That's your unicorn bottle.
That's my unicorn
That's your
bottle.
unicorn bottle.
I do have a unicorn bottle. Okay, the folks don't know. He's like, I might ask you these questions. And he's like, what's your unicorn bottle? I was like, I don't have one. I don't covet wine like that. I like my wine.
That's
And
it.
you're right. That's my unicorn bottle.
That's it.
Now, when do I open it? What's the occasion?
Oh, boo, that's you. That's for you.
I gotta think about it.
I tell you what, you know your wine better than anybody else. You know how long that bottle's gonna last. Open it when it's time, when it's perfect, when it's peaking. Open it when it's the best it's gonna ever be, and then drink it and enjoy it. Then it'll mean more. All right,
Okay.
you got $20. What bottle of wine you going to buy?
Apothic red.
Okay,
That.
okay. Why Apothic
I
Red?
so, huh?
Why Apothic Red?
Okay, so when I first started making wine, I actually was inspired by Apothic Red because I knew I wanted to make blends for the very reason I said earlier. I was like, how do I put myself into wine so people don't just think I white label, right? They don't think
Yeah,
this New Jersey girl doesn't really have a passion about this. And it was one of the, I tasted all these wines in the store, and I remember just enjoying Apothic Red. I just feel like they got
mhm.
it right. And it's like one of those bottles, it never changes. It's under $20, I think. I haven't bought it in
Yeah.
a
It
very long
is. It
time.
is. It
I haven't
is.
bought it in a very long time, but I will always give it credit. It was like one of those that really taught me like blends are where it's at and you can have fun and still I think it's a great tasting wine. It does not bother me. And it was like the wine that made me be like, I could do this too.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I
You know, and the reason I
thought
asked that,
I thought up on about because you gave me $20, right?
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, but then I'm not gonna lie, I don't buy much wine anymore. It's either gifted or I do like little boxes of clubs so I can study. Like Macy's has a wine club and
Hmm.
Wine Insider. I'm probably gonna go buy tequila with that. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
I'm a tequila girl when I'm not drinking wine.
Oh,
I
we
love
talked about
tequila.
this.
We
You
talked
are
about
tequila
this.
girl. Yeah.
I prefer reposados or anejo, so you might got to give me a couple more dollars for the good
Yeah.
stuff. But I am a reposado anejo girl. Like I love a good tequila. Mezcals too. Don't drink them as often, but I do like a smoky mezcal. Um, but yeah, so I'm going to the store. My tried and true. I know it's going to taste good. Apothic Red probably, or a Pinot from Oregon too. I do have a soft spot for Pinots from
I'll
Oregon
roll
if I
up.
can find one under $20.
You
Yep.
like OPP?
I do. I do. I like OPP.
There you go.
Um, and I'm always going to support the black brands. So a Pinot from Oregon, I mean, it's a great climate for Pinot. It's like top
Yeah.
notch outside of Burgundy. But if you never had a Petaluma Gap Pinot, you might want to get it. Only a couple of cases left.
All
Um,
right. All right.
but yeah, that's it. Or tequila. I love tequila. One day I do hope and put that out here too. I do want to make a tequila.
All right. The reason I asked about that Apothic Red, because your wines taste nothing like Apothic Red. Like they're not jammy, they're not rich, they're
But
not
you gave
super
me
fruity.
$20. You're not going to get mine for $20. That's what I want people to understand, folks.
No,
Okay,
not yours. I'm not talking about
you
yours.
can get great wines at good prices. I don't
Oh
want
yeah.
people get that confused too. They think
Yeah.
expensive means great and cheap means no. No, great wine is just some people just can make great wine at a great cost.
Yeah.
But when you put me on a spot, I'm like, I'm gonna go with something tried and true. But I don't remember the last time I drank it. But I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I know I used to love it. That was like my little inspiration bottle when I was new and didn't know
Yeah.
nothing
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
about
Yeah.
wine. And it taught me that there were blends. Like I was fresh and green. I'm like, Merlot. What's everybody know? Merlot, Cab, Chardonnay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
That's it. And
And I
Pinot
was just
Grigio.
like, and I remember reading the back of it and everything that they said was a note. I was like, I like that. So I'll give them their credit. They inspired me. I'd
Oh,
be like,
hey,
I'm gonna
yo,
make something better.
inspiration is key, and that's what it's about with wine, right? It's not necessarily about the liquid in the bottle. It's about more things around that. It's about the situations that we drink them in. That's why it's key. I'm happy to hear that. All right, this is gonna be really, really fun. If you could choose your own superpower, what would it be? Not that you aren't already a superwoman. What's your
So I go,
superpower that you choose?
okay, I go back and forth with two, so you gotta let me say both.
Come on.
It's either the power to read minds or the power of invisibility, to be invisible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because if I can read your mind, I know all the secrets of how to be successful. I can read the most powerful people's minds, right? But there's some danger. I don't want to know everybody's thoughts because we think crazy stuff all the time. And I'm like, well, maybe if I'm invisible, I can do the same thing. I can walk into rooms, and because again, I'm inquisitive. I need to know the answers. The answers, because I will go into Sway's room right now and not like he won't be able to see me.
Well, Sway got all the answers.
But I can read his mind, but I'm just scared. Like I'm gonna read people's minds that I don't want to read their minds. It's like I gotta be able to control it. So I go back and forth with those. I'm invisible. Two, I could go and rob the bank and nobody know. Right?
You
I'm not
could.
gonna do that though because
You
I'm a
could.
very, very good person. But I think those are two like people think superpowers. I feel like those are the most powerful ones you could ever have. With a close third being teleportation, probably. But if you're invisible, you could hop on plane. You could tell I thought about this, right? I think about this type of stuff all the time. Like I could ride a plane for free. Nobody could see me. I can go
Yeah,
where I need to go. I
you
could be
could.
where I need to be.
You
I
could.
could learn. I could listen. I'm the fly on the wall.
You could.
And again, if I could read your mind, I already know, the answers.
All right, I like it. I like it.
The
Reading
things I
minds.
think about.
No, that's the whole point of this though. Like you read minds. So like, is it like you can read minds voluntarily, or you just happen to hear people's thoughts involuntarily? Like you just walk onto a train and now you hear what everybody's thinking. It's like everybody
Don't
yelling
want
at you.
because that's gonna be crazy, right? Now I'm gonna hear stuff that I don't need to hear. And now I'm kind of an empath, so I'm gonna feel all that. I don't want to do that. I want to
There you
be
go.
voluntary. Like I'm
Well,
going to read Beyonce's mind, Warren Buffett's mind,
okay. Every
Michelle
every
and Barack.
super, every superpower has a crux. So if you can read minds, then maybe it's not voluntarily. Or if you can be invisible, you're invisible, but your clothes aren't.
Oh, you took the
Every
fun.
superpower has a crux. Everyone.
If those are the cruxes, I would go with reading minds.
Everybody's gonna be yelling at you. Everywhere you go, it's gonna sound like everybody yelling at you.
What's your superpower?
I don't immortality.
then you watch people die all the time.
You watch people die all the time now.
That's a good one.
Because I want to see the world change. I want to see what happens. Now that's the kind of inquisitive I am, because I am a history dude, right? So like I want to be able to be there years down the line, ages, generations. I want to be there when we're in space. What is that going to look like for us?
That's so okay. We could talk about that another time. I'm like,
Yeah, we can dig all the way in.
Scares me. That one scares me. More
Yo,
than hearing the nonsense that goes on in people's minds.
Yo, we can go on and on. Look, Aamira, thank you so much for taking the time. It's been a great talk with you, and thank you for taking time out of your evening. I know you got to go check on somebody doing homework.
And but the funny thing is, they like my girls are good. They be having to check on me. They be having to wake me up. Like, I'm proud of it. But yes, I will do that. This was super fun. Thank you again for having me. We should do it again. I'm coming to Texas. As long as we have the act up section, we good.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We'll get the whole gang out. Hey, thanks again. You have a wonderful evening. Thank y'all for checking in with Monday Meditations with Juan. I'm Chuck Nix, the bearded wino, Aamira Garba, signing off. We're going to let y'all get into the rest of y'all's evening. Peace, y'all.